How often had you ought to say it? But good morning. Welcome to the Clara Luper Show, where we're live. We're in beautiful living color, where we're celebrating a very special week because we've proven here in Oklahoma, City, that we can do it. We've proven uh, that we can make a difference. I especially would like to thank those people that stay in the area there near Fifth and Northeast Fifth and Stonewall for the kindness that they showed us during the time when our car messed up, and lo and behold, people always talk about how bad the neighborhoods are, but then these young people that live in that area, especially that young guy Charles Zachary, thank you for the help that you gave us during when our car was down. But it just wasn't one person. It was those neighbors that were home and took the time out of their day to make sure that everything went all right down there at Northeast Fifth and Stonewall, which incidentally is right down the street from the great Fifth Street Baptist Church. But you've heard a lot about Fifth Street Baptist Church. You've heard a lot about how bad things are on the east side, northeast side. You've heard about how difficult it is to live on the northeast side of Oklahoma City, but I want to be one of those that this day will give a flower, that will give a rose to those people who live here on the northeast side and who have made a difference. It's been an outstanding week. It's been a week where a lot of different things have happened. The Lord has blessed us in so many different ways and given us an opportunity to see little baby Sydney Clara Wilson go through successful surgery there in Texas, to see our good friend Bonita Williams go through some successful but painful surgery during the course of the week. And you have been a part of it this morning because you heard that Sterling Mitchell was back live and in living color here on there. But then you can always go by Gospel World Music and see Sterling. But Bonita, we look forward to working with you again. Sydney Claire, we look forward to seeing you a little later on during the course of the week. And I'm so glad to know that our Demetrius Thomas family, that they're going through this particular storm in their life, and they're able to handle it thanks to the help of the Lord and to the help of the many friends out there that are praying for Demetrius. Even though the show comes on after this show, we're still proud of the fact that Demetrius is a part of the KTLV family, and we do love him dearly, and we're glad to know that things are getting better for that family. If we work together, we pray together, we can make a difference. That's what our city is about. That's what our state is about. From Edmond to, what's that little town down there? Moore. From Norman to Oklahoma City. We have a lot of bragging rights, and there's a lot of bragging that has gone on this week and that will continue to go on during the course of the coming weeks, because we're going to be telling you more about the Festival of Arts that continues this weekend. A young man that will be performing at one of the stages there, none other than Jeruba. You've heard us talk about and brag about Jeruba with his African talking drums. But when you go to the Festival of Arts, enjoy the good food, but take time out to go around to the different stages. And when you see Jeruba and his group performing, give them an encouraging hand and encourage them on, because they're making a difference, showing that our communities are diverse and showing that we can live together, no matter what McLean, no matter what Clinton, no matter what the politicians may say. We know that we can live together. I'm going to tell you a little later on in the show about a young lady whose life touched our life, who's been an inspiration to all of us. A young lady that I'm not certain from whenceforth she originally came from, but I do know that I've had a chance to meet her daughter, Joan Cavalas. Am I saying that right? Corenbilt. Joan Corenbilt lost her mother-in-law this week, and we'll be telling you a lot more about that today. So sit back, tell that neighbor it's that time. because here comes a great song, and I know that you've reminded everyone that you've talked to during the course of this week to make sure that they pay attention to the politics of life, and better than that, that they go out and that they help, that they make a difference in someone else's life. So enjoy this song because it's going to make a difference in your life because we're ready. We want you to be prepared. Certainly, you have a hard head. Certainly, you have a difficult time understanding. Certainly, you have had a difficult time letting your thoughts be shared with everyone at different times in your life. But one thing about it, the Lord knows what He has in store for you. The Lord knows what you can do to help make our community, to help make your home, make your area a much better place. I'll mention to you the fact about Maya Corenbilt, who passed this week, and in the paper they mentioned the Jewish community being at a loss on losing her, but all of us that had an opportunity to just work around her, just to see her, we too will be feeling the loss that the Corenbill family will be that they're going through, and we want them to know publicly if there's anything that we can do. And when I say we, I mean those of us here at KTLV, those on the Clara Luper show, those at Hometown IGA there at 23rd Martin Luther King, those at Gates Barbershop, those who young people who attend the NAACP meetings on Monday nights. We want that family to know that we do indeed love them. There's another family that, well, there's plenty of families we could mention right now, but I'd like to welcome a young lady back to Oklahoma City who hasn't been here in a while, but who is here because of the fact that her brother passed, and that's none other than a good friend, Dolores Johnson, who is here, and it will be her brother's services will be at Rolfe Funeral Home at 11 o'clock today. And if you get a chance, go by there and give them a card and let the family know that you love them too. Dolores' post sister had a difficult time this week. Where Calvin, you always writing stuff down and not keeping up with it. But then some of you know what it's like to do that, and that is the fact that she's gone. Dolores' sister. Well, maybe she'll call me and will tell me more. But her brother, Dolores' brother, Everett Johnson, services will be at the Rolfe Funeral Home today. And we want that family to know that we love them dearly. And during this time of need, that we'll be happy to do whatever we can to make life just a little bit easier for them. We are also, we will be trying to get on through this and remembering the effect that so many people have had on your life. And then you think about people like Mrs. Alberta Brannon, who not only was a fantastic cook, but a heck of an entrepreneur, super businesswoman, great mother, great auntie, great cousin. She was great. She made a difference. She made a difference not just by talking that talk, but by walking that walk. And when she started Alberta's Tea Room, it was a place that you were proud to let people know that that's where you were going to go enjoy a breakfast, lunch, or dinner, because Alberta's Tea Room was that place that Mrs. Brannon made sure that the best was there. Taught her sons how to cook, taught everybody in the whole family how to make a difference and to bring goodness and happiness to your life. Those services for Mrs. Brannon will be this Saturday, that's today, and that's at 11 o'clock also. And it will be at the Wildwood Christian Church there at 6900 North Kelly Avenue. It's a day when families will be saying goodbye to some great friends. Everett, we'll see you a little later. Mrs. Brannon, we'll see you a little later. Mrs. Corenbill, we'll see you a little later. And we just hope that we can have the impact that you have had, individually and collectively in making our city, making our state a much better place. Let me remind you also that on Monday nights at 6 a.m. at the Freedom Center, the NAACP Youth Council still holds our weekly meetings. We invite you to come by. If you're a young person that would like to be an advisor or would like to look into being an advisor, we invite you to come by. A young person that would like to participate in the NAACP activities, Monday nights at the Freedom Center. We'll mention that again. But in the meanwhile, hey, Uniquely You Boutique is open. No, no, Alexis, I wasn't trying to wake you up. I was just knocking so that people would know to go over there to that neighbor instead of hollering at them. Knock on the door and say, Uniquely You Boutique is the place for that very special lady in your life. If she needs a hat, she needs some new shoes, if she needs some new dresses, Uniquely You, 730 West Britain Road, there in the Allstate Insurance Building. Great things are going on around us. We can make a difference. We can make sure that our young people, that when they go to school, when they go to classes, if they are prepared, if they are ready to go to school. You have to believe in education at home. That's where I think it starts. I know that's where it starts, and we can. I'd like to encourage you to emphasize education in your home. We will tell you more about an event that happened last night down at the University of Oklahoma. That it was really, really a fantastic affair, and it has to do with education. So prepare yourself. Get that pencil ready. Get that paper ready. Get yourself ready, because we're going to be bragging about the difference that our community together, not just the black side, not just the Mexican side, not just the white side, but together, the difference that we have made in education, the difference that we've made in religion, the difference that we are making in business. You'll hear about it here, KTLV, Clara Luper Show. Enjoy this. I know you will. Time, indeed it is. And you have an opportunity to be right on time in everything that you do this week, this coming week. We're getting close to that time when there's going to be some special celebrating going on. But it would have to go some to outdo the celebration that some of us attended last night at the University of Oklahoma. I'm looking for a couple of the people that attended that celebration to call and share with you their experiences there before I get to bragging on all of the awards that were given away, that were shared, and the fellowship that was shared there at the University of Oklahoma there in the student union. It's good to see young people that are striving to continue their education, especially their higher education. It's great to see people that you've read about, that you've talked about, and to hear them talk about some of the experiences that they've gone through. But you'll hear about that here on the Clara Luper Show, when we'll tell you what happened down there at Oklahoma University. And a special thanks goes out to Sarita and Jack Mills and the job that they did in making things extremely spectacular there at that dinner. Some kind of dinner it was. We're waiting on our reporters, your reporters, to call in and to share that information with us. In the meanwhile, let me remind you of Gates Barbershop, located there at 2609 North Martin Luther King, where the theme is, and the job is done there, where they make people beautiful, even people that have a difficult time being beautiful. Gates Barbershop, they can perform miracles in there. Invite you to go by. Maybe you want to sit outside and look for a minute, but you can always go inside and let Philip and his crew do a great job with you. We are on it. We are moving right along. We are glad that you are sharing with us your time, sharing with us your energy, sharing with us your motivation for our state, for our city. Glad that you are planning on going to the Festival of the Arts that's downtown Oklahoma City. You know, this is a big time city, and that's what we like to brag on. The Festival of the Arts is one of those big time affairs. We know that you're concerned about our YWCA and the improvements that have to be done there. But I have a caller on the line that I'm anxious, and I'm certain is anxious to share with you their feelings. Good morning, caller. How are you doing?
Good morning.
You sound so familiar. How do
This
you
is
see it?
as I see it.
As I see it. That's great.
Mrs. Walker.
Mrs. Bosie Mae Walker, welcome to the Clara Luper Show, where we're live and we're in beautiful living color. You were part of the delegation that went down to the University of Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma, yesterday.
Oh, yes, I was in High Cotton.
You were in High Cotton. Well,
Yes.
share with us your impression of that
Oh,
dinner and all
it
of the
was
honor.
it was really beautiful. It was educational because we were able to meet a young man, the first black that was an astronaut, comes from Houston, Texas, made a beautiful speech.
You had to throw that Houston, Texas in.
Oh,
didn't you?
yes.
Okay.
That's right, and those that received awards, and the Career Achievement Award that was received by Mrs. Clara Luper, and it was, and so many of those people came up to her, and one guy just had tears in his eyes. He had been wanting to meet her because he had heard so much about her and how she started the,
Yes.
the civil rights movement. And let me tell you, as I see it, that was beautiful. The food was good, and the program was good because we had several people that received awards last night. But it was one that I had hoped that more of our young people should have heard Dr. Harris speak and see so many of those other people that had their PhDs and the opportunities that they have today. As I see it, they're missing out a whole lot. Kids stay off the street and go to school. That's where you've got to improve and become someone that is making a contribution.
Well, you telling them, Mrs. Bosie Mae Walker,
I'm
Youth
true.
Council Advisor, NACP,
That's right.
Miss Black Oklahoma participant. What's the name of that church where you are so active
Quail
at?
United Methodist
Quail
Church.
United. She
That's-
doesn't
that's
just talk
right.
that talk, she walks that walk throughout the community.
That's
But
right.
last night she was in Tall Cotton, and we all were in Tall Cotton, to use an expression that we use affectionately.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
You know, just hearing and just seeing Bernard Harris, seeing a black man
That's right.
who's an astronaut, a medical doctor, and his description of his preparations that it took him to go into space. And it wasn't just one time that he's been in the space that the NASA has sent him up into space, but he's logged more than 438 hours, traveled over 7.2 million miles in space, and that's taken into account the second flight when Dr. Harris became the first African American to walk in space. And I know all of us had an opportunity to look at the miracles of our Lord during this past week, that beautiful moon that we've had for 2-3 consecutive nights. And I'm certain that I thought I was wondering what it would be like to step out
Everything
there
was
and feel
beautiful.
that. But he did it. He's
That's
done it.
right.
But
Yes,
one thing about
Luper was
Dr. Harris
looking-
also, he just didn't stop there. He's also the founder and president of the Harris Foundation, which supports math and science education and crime prevention program all across America. He earned his Bachelor of Science degree in biology from the University, there it is again, University of Houston, a Master of Medical Science from the University of Texas Medical Branch at Galveston, a Master of Business Administration from the University of Houston, a Doctorate of Medicine from Texas Tech University. He did his residency in internal medicine at the Mayo Clinic. He's a National Research Council Fellow in I don't know what that word means, but ENDOCRINOLOGY.
I don't either.
Whatever it is, he's one of them.
Mhm.
And he's with the NASA, with the Ames Research Center there in Iowa. And he's trained as a flight surgeon for the Aerospace School of Medicine at the Brooks Air Force Base here. But Dr. Harris,
That's
it was
right.
inspirational. And he just didn't inspire just those of us who are of color, but the entire, what, 200-300 people that were in attendance there and heard him speak and describe his experiences. But he also received an award from the College of Education
Award
of the
of
University of
distinction.
Oklahoma, an award of distinction for his many accomplishments in NASA and the physician and the founder and all that. And it was
Yeah.
it was
So
inspiring.
you have a good day.
I certainly will. Thank you, Mrs. Walker. And
Yeah.
as I see it, you're making a difference. We got to inspire some more people to make a difference. One lady that received an award during the course of the dinner last night. Well, let's talk about the regent, Larry Wade, who's a native of Elk City, Oklahoma, where he's the editor and publisher of the Elk City Daily News, and a graduate of the University of Oklahoma in journalism, and he was a member of the Pride of Oklahoma band, and he was honored for Meritorious Meritorious Service Award from the University of Oklahoma. Now, if I can't pronounce it correctly, I can spell it. That's why I tell you to keep your pencil and your paper handy when you listen to the Clara Luper radio show. Some of these words are big, but they have special meaning because Larry Wade, who is currently serving as a regent for our universities, for our educational system here, is making a difference. Now, he can spell it, and he probably can say it well, but during the dinner last night, he was extremely proud to be honored by his peers and friends that were there in attendance all the way, not only from Elk City, but from everywhere else. Mrs. Margaret Pappy also received an Outstanding Educator Award. Now, she started off her teaching career at Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls, Texas, where her husband Don was stationed while he was in the Air Force. But she's been a teacher since 1973, and she did not retire until the year 2000. But with her retirement, she did not quit working in education. She continues to support the Oklahoma University education area. She continues to work actively in the community there in Norman. She continues to make a difference. So, Mrs. Pappy, we were extremely proud to see you also being honored during the celebrations there. Then there's a young lady, a Young Educator Award. Now, this is a relatively new award that the Education Department is giving there at OU, but it was a Young Educator Award, and her name, the recipient was Sarah E. Peil, Peil, who received that award. She holds a master's degree in instructional leadership and academic curriculum from OU Education and working on a doctorate in social studies. So you see, these are people who just didn't stop like some of us did when after you graduate from one school, well, I'm through with school. They've continued with their education. They've gone on to space. They've gone on to make a difference in journalism. One person that we were all extremely proud of, trying to make sure that the all-state agent will call in and do some of that. But I'm going to get started anyway. I'm going to remind you that this part of the program is being brought to you by Clara Luper and the Clara Luper Show. For over the years, we've made a difference in your life. We've brought you news about upcoming events. We brought you news, share it with you, the many ups and downs of our lives. We want you to be prepared for the Miss Black Oklahoma State Pageant that we're preparing to have. We want you to be prepared for the Miss Black Oklahoma City Pageant, where you will be hearing more about it. And we want you to be prepared to apply for some of these scholarships if you're in high school or if you're in college even. If you attend Oklahoma City University, you can apply for a scholarship there as a Clara Luper Scholar. If you're at OU, you can apply for a scholarship there in any of the departments. And then if you're an athlete, you can keep those grades up and not only get that athletic scholarship, but get an educational scholarship too. Because down at OU yesterday, there were, what is it, about, like I said, about 50, about 100 people that received scholarships. And just to mention a few will be Amy Moran, Brittany Bennett, Jessica, Marbert Vanna Snyder, Lindsay Gother, Jessica Lancaster, Valerie Van Houten, Carly Weatherford, Jamie Winnington, Alexandra Countryman, Diana Davis, Elizabeth Dixon, Gage Jeter, Kendall Corch, Melissa Patchen, Jenny Soares, Jacqueline Van Okel. These are just a few young people that received scholarships. I know that your church has a lot of scholarships that they have available for the young people that are in attendance there. I know that your organization that you work with has a scholarship available that could have some young people go on to college. But in the meanwhile, while you're getting that list of people ready that you want to make sure you get a scholarship, remember that we have our Ralph Ellison Library there at 23rd and Martin Luther King. Needs our support. We have our YWCA there at 16th and Northern Martin Luther King. Needs our support. We have the NAACP Youth Council, the NAACP that needs your support. And when I say your support, I mean by coming to meetings, not just waiting until you get into trouble and then calling the NAACP, but coming out and being a part, make a difference. So enjoy this particular song. We'll play a couple of minutes of it, and then I'm going to tell you about the hostess with the mostest. The hostess that showed out last night down in Norman. She went back to, well, enjoy this song, I'll tell you more. Ease down, ease on around, and share this additional information with you about the activities that happen at the Oklahoma University College of Education. I have on the line a young lady that was there and saw it, witnessed it herself. Marilyn?
Yes, I'm here, Calvin.
Tell me a little bit about the education dinner that they had at OU last night.
Calvin, this was the 8th year for this particular dinner at Oklahoma University, and Mom received the Career Achievement Award of the past alumni of the Oklahoma University History Department.
She received.
Boy, it was a great night last night.
It certainly. She received which award was that, Marilyn? Career what?
She received the Career Achievement Award, and she was also inducted in the College Alumni Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I want to tell you something that you don't know.
I doubt that, but try me.
I was so proud last night that tears just came to my eyes as I saw my mom sitting in that wheelchair, and as she spoke to them, telling them, thanking them for the honor that they had given her, and the honor came when she was remembered in her own land, her own school. And I just remembered so many times when she was speaking, when she would say, give me my flowers while I was living. And boy, did they have some pretty flowers.
They had some.
And I was proud. I was proud. I tell you one thing, the God, she said, every morning that you wake up, you need to fall down on your knees and thank God for the opportunity just to wake up and be grateful that things are as well as they are. Oh, that's shouting news.
Shout
That's
news.
shouting news.
Merlin, who were some of the people that were in attendance with you, with us at the dinner last night? They were at our table.
Mosey Walker, Leela Red, Leola Ford, Onita Brown, Jason Johnson, and myself, along with you.
And that young lady from Fifth Street Baptist Church?
Yes,
Yeah.
and she teaches in the history department there, and she was there to make us feel as comfortable as possible that we would not have to want for anything, and she did it. She did it, and I was so grateful. I was so grateful for everything.
Okay, Merlin, I have Aunt Nancy on another line. I have a couple minutes left, so I'm going to try to get her in. But thank you for being a good daughter, being a great sister, for being an outstanding insurance agent, for being the owner and operator of Uniquely You Boutique at 730 West Bridgeton Road.
And Kevin, one thing I need to say before I get off the line, and it just take me 30 seconds. I want you to continue to keep our family in prayer, and especially prayer for my little niece, Sydney Clara Wilson, who is presently in the hospital down in Texas. Pray for her, and I know that God never leaves us or forsakes us, and I know He has His loving arms around Sydney Clara. Thank you, Calvin.
Merlin, you're extremely welcome. Let me see if I can get on Nancy and what I have. Lex, I have enough time, you think, to get her? Good morning, Aunt Nancy Davis. How are you doing?
Oh, just fine. I thought I would call to tell you that I was surprised last night when I attended the Progressive Oklahoma Baptist State Convention where they had a banquet at Holiday Inn. And they honored Miss Maddie Butler, Opio Correa, and although he's passed, but we had a nice award for him.
Okay.
And they also awarded Nancy Randolph Davis in education
Aunt
and
Nancy.
service award.
Aunt
And
Nancy.
all of us received
Aunt Nancy,
service
thank you
awards
for calling and
last night,
telling
it
us.
was a nice affair.
Aunt
And
Nancy.
before I forget it, I must tell you that April is my birth month.
Okay.
And I had a birthday, April the 14th.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for calling us and sharing that information with us. I wish we could have gotten it earlier, but we're down now to those last few seconds where if you haven't called that friend, you haven't called that neighbor, that you stay tuned to KTLV for the rest of the day, that you stay tuned and make a difference in our community. Be like those people down in the 5th and Stonewall area. Love your neighbors, love your friends, keep your community clean. But there was a celebration going on. Aunt Nancy had one. Another guy named Willie Germany Sr. had one, and he was celebrating his birthday, something fierce. So this goes out to those two. Happy birthday, Aunt Nancy. Happy birthday, Willie Germany. Happy birthday to you. And may you have many, many more. Make a difference this week in whatever you do. We love you dearly. See you.